Hello guys. In today's video we are going to talk about um, comparatives and superlatives. Um, so let's jump into today's class. Alright, so the first thing to notice is this. I'm gonna have this image for you to come back and look at it at the end of this class. So here we have comparatives and superlatives and irregular uh, comparative and superlatives. All right, so here we're gonna notice I'm just gonna read them really fast, and then we're gonna jump into today's class. So tall becomes taller, short becomes shorter, nice, nicer, big, bigger, hot, hotter, funny, funnier, expensive, more expensive, interesting, more interesting, tall, the tallest, short, the shortest, nice, the nicest, big, the biggest, hot, the hottest, funny, the funniest, expensive, the most expensive, interesting, the most interesting. And for irregulars, you're gonna have good becomes better, and the best. Bad becomes worse, and the worst. Many becomes more, and the most. This is plural. Much becomes more, and the most for singular. Far becomes farther, and the farthest. And you can say either farther or further. Farthest, the farthest, or the furthest. Okay, these two mean the same thing. Okay, so now let's go in detail to comparative and superlatives. Again, this chart is for you to look at the end. So here we have how we form them. One syllable adjectives take ER for the comparative, of course, and EST to form their comparative and superlative forms. For example, tall becomes taller, and the tallest. So something important to remember is that when we are comparing two things, two persons, two animals, we need to use the word than. Taller than, I am taller than you. And the tallest, we use either of or in. I am the tallest of the class. I am the tallest in the classroom. Okay, so short becomes shorter, as you have seen it before, and the shortest. So let's see. We're gonna have more examples, so don't worry if you don't understand it now. So adjectives of two or more syllables take more or most. For example, generous, it's not generouser, it's more generous. And of course, than. I am more generous than you. Or I am the most general in my house or in my family. Um, so adverbs having the same form as their adjectives add er or end es. For example, when we use hard as as an adverb, we need to add er, harder. I work harder than you do. Um, he works the hardest in the family. So look, remember that adverbs describe or modify other adverbs, verbs, and nouns, and adjectives only describe other nouns. So here, if I say I work harder than you, harder is an adverb because it's describing or modifying the verb work, for example. All right, let's see a little bit more. So how do we use comparatives and superlatives? How do we use comparative adjectives? So here we have number one. We use the comparative form to compare two people, okay, two things, two places, etc. We usually use than. We usually use than with comparative adjectives. For example, Jack is stronger than Bob. Or, like, Louis is smarter than Peter. So we need to use than. And number two, we use the superlative form to compare one person or thing with more than one person. Sorry, there's a mistake here. With more than one person or thing in the same group. We use the and then of or in with superlative adjectives. For example, I am the most generous person in my house. So I would use in. He is the smartest person in the classroom. Okay? Or he's the smartest person of the class. Very good. We use not plus as plus adjective plus as to say that two people, places, or things are or are not similar. For example, Tom's car isn't as old as Sue's car. Tom's car isn't as old as Sue's car. Or you can say Tom's car is as old as Sue's car. Okay? So we use either not or as plus adjective plus as to say that two people, places, or things are or are not similar. And number four, we also use much. We also use much plus the comparative form plus than to emphasize degree of difference. Your house is much bigger than mine. Your house is much bigger than mine. So here we emphasize that your house is not only bigger than mine, it's much bigger than mine. So that's degree of difference. All right. Let's see. Here we have these two images. This is one image and this is another image. Here we have a tall woman and a short woman. Here we have a white woman and an Asian woman. Here we have, they are dressed differently. So we can compare these two people in many different ways. We can say the white woman is taller than the Asian woman. Or we can say the Asian woman is shorter than the white woman. We can say that the white woman is more dressed up than the Asian woman. And we can say many other things about this picture. Okay? Here, this is the city. So, city. And this is the country. Like countryside, okay? This is the country. And so we can say that the city is louder than the country. And we can say the country is quieter than the city. We can say the country is more beautiful than the city, but we can say that the city is more convenient than the country. And so you can compare them indefinitely. We can also compare diets. We can say that, a healthy diet is better than an unhealthy diet. We can say that vegetables are more nutritious than junk food. We can say many other things about diets. We can compare sports, baseball, basketball, and American football. We can say many things about that. We can compare uh, cats and dogs or animals. We can say that you know, like dogs are um, taller or bigger than cats. We can say that cats are faster than dogs. We can say that dogs are more friendly than cats, etc. Um, very good. So that's how you would use this knowledge that you're learning in this class. So one more thing, we're going to learn about clauses of purpose. Clauses of purpose. So here we use clauses of purpose to express the purpose of an action. That is, they explain why someone does something. They are introduced with to, in order to, so as to, so that, in order that, in case, etc. For example, let's give you an example with the infinitive. I am going to buy a bottle of water. I am going to buy a bottle of water. So here, the class of purpose here would be to, and this sentence here means that I am going to buy a bottle of water. So the purpose of this is buying water. Let's see, in order to, so as to. And this is used in a more formal language. She opened the window in order to, or so as to, get some fresh air. So the purpose of her opening the window was to, in order to get some fresh air. Very good. Um, in negative sentences, this is very important here. All right, let's point this out. In negative sentences, we use in order not here, in order not to, or as not to. We never use not to alone. Okay, never use not to alone. He left early in order not to, or so as not to miss the flight. He left early in order not to, or so as not to miss the flight. We don't say he left early not to miss the flight. Okay? Very good. All right, so this is all the class for today. Let's read the quote of the day and we are done for today. So the quote of the day is, act so as to make a difference in the world. Act so as to make a difference in the world. Can I really make a difference? I think you can. That's all for today, guys, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.